Well, welcome to this presentation on premature ejaculation. In the next few minutes, I'm going to show you how you can overcome premature ejaculation and become the man you really want to be in bed. To start with, it's important to understand that premature ejaculation is a very normal and natural problem. It affects about 1 man in 3, so you certainly don't need to feel any shame about it. Now, I know that's easy to say, and if you come very quickly after starting to make love, it might be a bit of a problem for your partner. She's probably not going to be too happy, and for that matter, you're probably not completely satisfied with your performance in bed either. You see, one of the things that I understand from the men I talk to who have this problem is that premature ejaculation can really make a man feel inadequate in bed. And of course the opposite's true as well. If you're a man who has control and choice over when he comes during sex, perhaps so much so that you can even take your partner to orgasm before you ejaculate, it can make you feel like a really powerful man in bed, and, for that matter, out of bed as well. So exercising control in bed, overcoming premature ejaculation, is really important for many reasons. And one of the questions I've asked myself many times is why, if it's so important, more men don't do something about it when it's so important for sexual pleasure. The answer probably lies in what Woody Allen once said. To paraphrase, there's no such thing as a bad orgasm, it's just that some are better than others. And when you're a man and you enter a woman, you probably feel a very strong instinctive urge to thrust, hard and fast, until you reach the point of ejaculation. And that's very satisfying. The problem is, it's not quite so satisfying to her, of course. What I also know from the work I've done with men over many years is that very few women will complain about premature ejaculation, although I have heard of some women being so upset about it that relationships have come to an end. But you shouldn't be deceived by the fact that your partner says, it's okay, don't worry, it doesn't matter. The fact that a woman doesn't complain about you coming quickly during sex doesn't mean it's okay. In fact, I can tell you that the great majority of women are totally peed off with their men about their lack of control. So what can you do about it? Well, a lot of solutions have been offered on the internet. Perhaps one of the most common is anaesthetic gel or so-called delay cream or lotion. You can get this as a spray-on anaesthetic for the penis, or you can get it as a lotion, or you can get it in condoms, which are supposed to delay ejaculation. And there's an interesting problem here, isn't there? Sex is supposed to be something that you enjoy, and I don't see how you can enjoy it if your penis is numb and you can't feel anything. A lot of guys actually also tell me that because the excitement they feel during sex is more in their mind than their body, they still ejaculate quickly, and sex is ruined because they don't feel anything. I've also spoken to several men who use these compounds that they bought on the internet, and they've experienced some intense burning sensations, redness and soreness on their penis, and in some cases they've experienced intense pain. In fact, I had an email from a man the other day asking for help because his penis had been left more or less insensitive after using a really strong anaesthetic lotion that he bought on the internet. My advice to you is to steer well clear. For another thing, your partner is not going to thank you if she ends up with a vagina that can't feel a thing because you sprayed your cock with anaesthetic lotion. Just a thought. You might also have heard of the idea of PC muscle control. The PC muscle, or pubococcygeus muscle, is the one that contracts during orgasm, and the stronger these contractions, the more intense the feelings that you have as you come. There's a completely false, but unfortunately very widespread belief on the internet that by contracting this muscle at the moment of orgasm, you can stop yourself coming. I can tell you that this is completely false. It's impossible to stop yourself coming by contracting this muscle. What you do if you try is weaken your ejaculation and ruin your own orgasm. So don't try this, and if you see anybody recommending this, steer well clear again. It doesn't work. However, there is a way to use the PC muscle during sex to control how quickly you get aroused. You can slow this down so that it takes you longer to reach the point of no return. That's the point at which you will ejaculate, come what may. What you can do is contract your PC muscle and briefly and breathe in a certain way at the same time. If you do this correctly, your erection softens a little bit and your arousal goes down so that you last longer before you come, which is very handy during intercourse if you want to impress your partner. Now, in a minute, I'm going to give you a link to a website where you can get full details of a complete premature ejaculation treatment program that gives most men who try it complete control over their ejaculations. That means they can actually choose when they ejaculate during sex. When you buy that program, you'll also be able to see exactly how to use all the techniques I've been talking about. As you've probably noticed, one of the things that contributes to premature ejaculation is feeling anxious about sex. A lot of guys say to me that they don't feel anxious but they still come quickly. However, I think a lot of men somehow lack confidence during sex, and there's an underlying level of anxiety behind a lot of premature ejaculation. And it's not surprising men are anxious about sex, because when you think about it, there's so much pressure on us around sex. We're expected to lead, initiate, to lead during sex. We're expected to show the woman a good time, and so on. And if you happen to be a man who's got performance anxiety, or even a man who's just concerned about how well he's doing in bed, you're going to feel anxious, for sure. And that's a problem because, as far as the body is concerned, the anxiety you feel adds to your sexual arousal and takes you towards the point of no return faster. And that means if you're feeling anxious, you're very likely to ejaculate before you want to. I'm sure you can imagine that men who are completely confident about their masculinity and who have no doubt that they'll be able to please a woman in bed and know that they can satisfy her in the way she wants are not going to feel anxious at all. And it's no coincidence that they tend to be the men who can last longer in bed. So one of the really important things about overcoming premature ejaculation is reprogramming your mind to give you more confidence. You can do this by using the latest NLP and behavioural change techniques, and this is a really powerful way to reduce your anxiety and become more confident so that you go into sex without the expectation that you are going to ejaculate sooner than you want. It breaks the vicious cycle of expecting to come too soon, feeling anxious about it, and then coming too soon because of the anxiety. In fact, I think this is one of the most powerful ways to stop yourself ejaculating too quickly. Now, there's a lot more to this premature ejaculation treatment program than I've been able to describe in this video, so the best way to find out more about premature ejaculation control is to click on the link on your screen. But before I go, I just want to add one thing about pills and potions as a cure for premature ejaculation. Don't be taken in by the con merchants on the internet who are selling you pills supposed to give you greater control of your ejaculation. The fact is, there just aren't any drugs that will do that except SSRI antidepressants, which you can only get on prescription from a doctor. Do you think it's a good idea to take heavy-duty pharmaceuticals designed to alter your mood? I mean, these things are designed as antidepressants. To control premature ejaculation? No, it just isn't safe. They have some horrible side effects. But really, the point is that by using the techniques I've already mentioned, you don't need drugs anyway. The truth is, you've got everything you need to control premature ejaculation within you right now. All you need is to use these simple techniques and you'll be a great lover, able to show your masculine power when you're in bed with a woman. Good luck.